I would not want to be Jay-Z right now, because 50 Cent just came for him hard after word got out that he was allegedly plotting to put Nicki Minaj under a conservatorship. This whole thing is wild. They're saying Jay and his Roc Nation crew might have been moving behind the scenes, setting up a plan to make Nicki look unstable so they could control her money and career. Like what? That's straight up scandalous. And get this, rumor has it they're already talking to doctors, trying to get Nicki labeled with all kinds of mental health conditions like bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, just to make her look unfit to handle her own business. That's crazy if it's true. People online are already saying she better watch her back before she ends up like Wendy Williams, stripped of her freedom, her money, and her power.
All of them to acknowledge him, even if they win an award, acknowledge him because he gave you the stomping ground.
Mm-hmm. Most people don't know Nicki Minaj came out of that camp. French Montana came out of that
all
camp.
of
Most
them.
people don't know half those people. We know, but most people don't know that.
Migos, Thug.
Like most people
Because they don't.
Word on the street is that 50 Cent was already 10 steps ahead. He allegedly knew everything before it even hit the blogs. Apparently, he's the one who pulled Nicki to the side and told her that Roc Nation might have been plotting behind her back. Can you imagine? Nicki thought they were just trying to push her out the spotlight and replace her with a few newer female rappers, but the truth is said to be way darker.
Not something that is like a conspiracy theory. This shit actually happens. But if they're able to separate Nicki and Kenny, that makes Nicki vulnerable because your husband is your power of attorney.
They were allegedly trying to erase her completely. That's some next-level industry betrayal right there. And all this drama bubbled up again just a few days ago after Nicki clashed with Charlemagne and Gucci Mane's wife, Keisha Kawai, over something she said during her fiery Breakfast Club interview. Phew, that interview stirred the pot for real. Because if Keisha and the crew had just kept Nicki's name out their mouths, none of this chaos would have come spilling out.
Your husband is your signator on all of your accounts in the event anything goes wrong. Michael wasn't married. Britney Spears was married, but of course they control all of that. And so the mere fact that all these narratives are out about Kenny stealing this to buy chains and buy that, that's not what it is. It's like, you know, they got doctors that are giving out these diagnoses saying that she's schizophrenic and bipolar and all of this stuff. And then Kenny's now here. You know, she trusts Kenny. Of course, they've known each other since they were kids. Their families know each other. And so Kenny is just in the way. And so what do? You create narrative.
Now everybody's talking, and the internet's in flames over these Roc Nation rumors. Nicki wasted no time. She jumped straight on X just minutes after that interview blew up online. And baby, she went off. She said, Gucci's wife has been trying to beam me for years. Been dying for the spotlight for years. She's there to keep Gucci sedated. That's a bold claim right there. Then she didn't stop. She dragged Charlemagne too, calling him the fraud and saying he's Jay-Z's friend and business partner, allegedly using iHeartRadio to run disgusting ploys against innocent families. Like, whoa, Nicki wasn't holding anything back this time. She even reminded folks that Charlemagne was close to Wendy Williams before her life went to hell, and that hit people hard because it made everyone start connecting dots.
To try to separate, because if you separate, then you can divide and conquer. And so that's what it's about. You know, she's going into her latter years and, you know, there's a lot of money on the line and she's worth a lot, but Kenny is in the way. And so, yeah, I mean, look at what they're doing to Wendy Williams. Had Wendy would have still been with Kelvin, they wouldn't have been able to put her under a conservatorship because she has a husband. So, you know, and like I said, there was only one that was accused of stealing. We're going to leave it at that. Okay?
Then she wrapped it all up with a warning that gave chills. The buck stops here, baby. Bookmark this tweet. Y'all really don't understand who I really am. Bring it. Let's play. Y'all wanted attention? Let's do it. She even tagged the LAPD demanding answers, saying, "Where's the evidence of my home being swatted with a toddler inside 4 times and drawn?" That's serious. This was the first time Nicki had ever mentioned Wendy Williams in any of her rants, and that alone sent social media into a frenzy. Nicki wasn't just talking crazy, she was straight up hinting that Charlemagne was planted in Wendy Williams' life to help some powerful people tear her down from the inside. That claim shook everybody. Because let's be real, Nicki and Wendy never had a sweet relationship before Wendy got sick, so hearing Nicki suddenly speak up for her left folks stunned. It made people stop and think, like, hold on, Why would Nicki defend someone she used to clash with unless she knows something deeper? Something she can't say outright. Then boom, Tasha K jumped in and dropped a bombshell. She said the real reason Nicki even brought up Wendy's name is because Roc Nation is allegedly trying to do the exact same thing to Nicki that was done to Wendy.
Earlier today, I talked about Nicki Minaj and all those fraudulent charges on her American Express card. Well, now all these old tweets from Cardi B are coming up. And by old tweets, I mean tweets from 2 weeks ago. But when she was beefing with Nicki on Twitter and they were talking about each other's kids, this one tweet kind of foreshadowed what's happening right now. So let's take a look. Quiet as kept, the truth is you've been diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar for almost 9 years, and you also on heavy drugs, cocaine, perks, and Xanax.
According to Tasha, they've supposedly got doctors on payroll ready to diagnose Nicki with a list of mental health issues she doesn't actually have, just so they can put her under a conservatorship. That's wild. The goal, she claimed, is to take control of Nicki's life, her finances, and her freedom. Basically erase her from her own empire. According to Tasha K, the only reason Roc Nation hasn't gone through with this twisted plan yet is because Nicki's married, and that changes everything. Legally, if Nicki were ever placed under a conservatorship, her husband Kenneth would automatically take control of her finances, not some random court-appointed stranger. And honestly, that makes total sense when you look at the pattern. Every big celebrity who's ever been successfully placed under a conservatorship wasn't married at the time. It's like being single makes you an easier target.
You don't listen to nobody around you. The only person that have the power is Kenneth Petty. But you know what happens with that Amex when you sedated. This is Cardi implying that Kenny, Nicki Minaj's husband, is the one running up her credit card bills. And because my timeline is so messy, this tweet came up right after that one. Kenneth Petty sneaking back in after crushing up a third Benadryl in her tacos. And it's Tom with a Hello Kitty Visa credit card just sneaking back in. Yeah, that was kind of funny. But again, people are saying that it was her ex-stylist who was using her credit card. So we'll find out.
But here's where it gets even messier. Tasha claims Roc Nation allegedly decided to flip the script and start a smear campaign against Kenneth. They're supposedly spreading lies that he's been stealing money from Nicki, trying to make him look shady so he can't qualify to manage her finances when the time comes. That's a dirty move if true. And considering Kenneth's past, yeah, he's got a criminal record, they could easily use that against him in court. So yeah, painting a picture that Kenneth can't be trusted with hundreds of millions of dollars, that's the easiest part of the whole plan. All they gotta do is whisper a few rumors, bring up his past, and boom. People start believing it without even thinking twice. Then Tasha snapped back at folks twisting her words online and said, "Y'all gonna stop twisting my damn words? Nicki Minaj ain't got no schizophrenia." She made it clear that Nicki's not crazy, she's just outspoken. Tasha even said, "Let's be real. Most of us got a little bipolar and crazy in us, and that's facts." And she's not lying. She brought up how they tried to 5150 Kanye just for being bipolar, calling it a mood disorder, and then tried to seize his assets because he wouldn't stay quiet. That's wild. Meanwhile, Wendy Williams is sitting in a luxury hospital suite while her lawyers allegedly spend her money, Michael Jackson's gone after years of legal pressure, and Britney Spears had to flee to Mexico just to breathe freely after being trapped under that conservatorship for so long. What part don't people get? This whole thing sounds like a full-blown industry setup, a calculated takedown designed to make Nicki look like she's too unstable to handle her own money or business. And according to the tea being spilled, her husband Kenneth is the main obstacle in their way. They can't touch her unless they get him out of the picture. That's wild. Tasha K even pointed out that all this madness started right after Nicki tweeted about that COVID vaccine. Remember that? The one post that had the whole internet talking? After that, things just started spiraling. Then Nicki made another post saying somebody close to her was stealing her money, and everyone immediately assumed it was Kenneth. But Tasha says nope, it wasn't him at all. Allegedly, it was Nicki's former assistant Khadijah and her ex-best friend Ra Ali behind the mess. Now here's where it gets extra messy. Word on the street is that Khadijah, after leaving Nicki's team, somehow slid into a new position as Ra Ali's babysitter and side piece. Yeah, you heard that right. Folks are saying Ra swings both ways, and allegedly, Khadijah handed over Nicki's Apple ID passwords and login info straight to Ra. Not long after that, credit card details started disappearing, and before anyone could catch on, the damage was already done. Now let's talk about Nicki, because she wasn't letting this drama slide. She hopped back on X and dropped some wild AI-generated clips of Jay-Z supposedly playing around in Beyoncé's closet with the caption, "I am your karma." That post had the internet in shambles. People were like, what is happening right now? It was bold, messy, and exactly the kind of move that only Nicki would pull when she's feeling attacked. And while that was going viral, new whispers started flying around. Turns out, Nicki might have gotten all this insider info about Roc Nation's alleged plans straight from 50 Cent. Yup, the same 50 who's been coming for Jay-Z non-stop. Word is, 50's been on Jay's neck ever since Diddy got exposed and incriminated because he believes Jay and Diddy were working together behind the scenes. And when Cassie dropped that bombshell lawsuit against Diddy, 50 didn't waste a second. He was right there backing her up. After Diddy settled that case within 24 hours, 50 posted, he paid that money real quick, should have done that before the sharks saw the blood in the water, and here they come in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Every woman he put his hand on. Whew, that was brutal. And he didn't stop there. He went on to announce he's producing a whole documentary exposing Diddy, his dark secrets, and everyone who's allegedly helped him cover things up for years. 50 Cent wasn't backing down for a second. He went full savage mode. He reposted an article announcing that he was developing a documentary all about Diddy and captioned it, "I thought Diddy was a billionaire music mogul. If he's smart, he'll file bankruptcy now." Anyone with real money knows why I'm saying this. I'm the best producer for the job, guys. Here come the receipts. Whew, the shade was real. That man came with confidence and chaos all at once. But 50 didn't stop there. He kept the trolling going. He dropped a meme of Jay-Z's face printed on a milk carton with a big missing label over it and wrote, "Anybody seen Jay? LOL. Puff said the man ain't answering his phone." That post had social media in tears. Then he took another jab, posting a picture of Jay supposedly waving near Diddy's private jet with the caption, "Here's Jay-Z, last reported seen waving at Puffy's jet LOL. The man's petty knows no limits." And just when folks thought 50 was finally done clowning, he circled right back months later and hit the timeline again, this time with a super unflattering close-up of Jay-Z's face. His caption, "Jay in hibernation." But here's where things really started heating up. Because after 50 Cent kept clowning Jay-Z online, people began wondering if all that trolling had a deeper purpose. See, fans started piecing things together, saying 50 wasn't just being messy for laughs, he was sending warnings. Some claimed he was dropping coded shots about Jay's connections to the same shady industry figures tied to Diddy's downfall. And if you look closely at his posts, it's like every meme and caption had a hidden message. Not long after that, insiders began whispering that Jay-Z went completely ghost. No public appearances, no interviews, not even a single comment about the chaos exploding online. It was like he disappeared right when the walls started closing in. People said he's laying low, cleaning house, and trying to make sure no one links his name to whatever's about to blow up next. Meanwhile, 50's out here acting like he's got the whole industry shaking, dropping hints one day, posting throwbacks the next, and reminding everyone that he's not scared of anyone with power or money. And of course, Nicki Minaj didn't stay quiet either. After seeing how fast Jay went silent, she started throwing her own subliminals again, talking about wolves in billion-dollar suits, and the puppets pulling the strings behind the scenes. Fans were convinced she was talking about Roc Nation. He ain't coming outside till this mess with Puff blows over. No brunch, no lunch, no dinner. LOL, I'm all you got, I'm outside. That's what 50 Cent said, and baby, he meant every word. The man's been taunting Jay-Z nonstop, saying he's ducking the public eye while everything around Diddy keeps falling apart. And from what people are saying behind the scenes, while 50's been working on his bombshell documentary, he's been talking to folks close to Jay-Z, some of whom are allegedly gonna appear in it. They supposedly spilled tea about Roc Nation's secret plans to take down Nicki Minaj once and for all. Now, nothing's officially confirmed, but if you've been following what Tasha K's been saying, Nicki definitely believes it. She's convinced there's a major move being made to paint her as unstable so the industry can strip her of her power. One fan said, "They are really trying to diminish Nicki," and another added, "Yes, I believe Nicki. She's not crazy. Plus, Desiree just put her own daughter into a mental hospital for nothing." Whew, that's some serious stuff. And let's not forget, Jay-Z's name already floating around in about 10 different lawsuits, but barely anyone in the mainstream ever talks about that. Folks online been calling him a snake for years, saying his silence whenever things get hot speaks louder than any denial ever could. But now I gotta ask, what do you think? Is 50 Cent really exposing the truth? Or is this just another wild industry conspiracy? Do you believe Roc Nation's really trying to put Nicki Minaj in a conservatorship? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share this video, and make sure you're subscribed. 'Cause trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next.